Hi everyone, we're going to go through the quantitative critique process, and this article is very helpful as far as going through those key questions, things to think about as you're critiquing a particular article. And when you're choosing your article for the critique, be sure to choose something that is interesting to you and is relevant to your area of practice. We want to make sure that everything that you do within the course is pertinent to your practice and will help you as you're building your acumen, so to speak, as an MSN prepared nurse. So be very deliberate about what you choose and what you look at that will help you in your particular practice. So with that being said, this article does go through the sections of the different research articles and some questions to really think about as you're reviewing and critiquing articles. So just use this checklist, so to speak, are the questions to help you to guide your thought process when you are doing your critique. The other guide that will be very helpful to you is the sample student paper. This is a sample of an APA paper and formatting. So as you're composing your APA formatted paper, please use this as a guide, and you'll notice that it's annotated so that there are specific references to the book itself to find out specifically why the formatting is the way that it is in the sample paper. So again, this is all for your assistance as you're composing the paper for your critique. So know that this resource is readily available to you, and use this as you construct your APA paper. And when we are looking at how your paper will be graded, really focus on each component of the research study and use the questions from the guide to actually help you to decide what to include in each component. So use each one of the topics as a heading in your paper, and then address those questions within that particular heading according to that particular component of the study. Does that make sense? You want to have a heading that may be background and significance of the study, and then you will address the background and significance, whether it met the criteria that we need to look for when we're examining this study. So it's important to know why the study was done, really look at the body of knowledge, whether it correlates with the body of knowledge, and if there's any gaps in the research, those types of things. So include that in the content of your critique. And then moving on to like the research question or hypothesis, you want to really look at the question itself. Why was this question posed, or why was the hypothesis posed? And does that seem appropriate? Does the question or the hypothesis seem appropriate for the study and the structure of the study? You'll also want to explain the theoretical framework, what was proposed and used, and was that appropriate for the research question or hypothesis? So really how everything kind of ticks and ties together. So you'll want to construct your paper to not just say what was in the paper, but really how the decisions were made and whether it was appropriate for that particular study, whether the choice of the design was appropriate for that type of study, for the research question, those things. So be very clear about the content. And then make sure that you relay your interpretation of the study in your paper, and really discuss the scientific rigor of the research, of the evidence that you found in this particular article, and look at the level of evidence that you found. Make sure that your writing is very clear and concise, and make sure that there's no errors in your mechanics. And of course, use APA format using the guide to really structure your paper. So if you have any questions about this assignment, please let me know.